Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, a retired librarian turned homeschool mom. And in this video, we're going to look at an interesting little Jewish book. So, it is June, or is it May? I'm filming this in April, on Easter Sunday. So, I'm pretty sure I have this set for Asian and Jewish History Month, which I believe is in May. So, I have a tendency to cover cultural books for both of those during May. So, we're going to be looking at a book that I have on my tablet here, called Jesse's Star by Ellen Schwartz. So, this is an interesting little fictional book about a young boy by the name of Jesse who's living in Canada. I think this is roughly present day. Now, he's a massive procrastinator. So, he has this report due the next day on why his ancestors came to Canada. So he is basically, he gets yelled at by his mother when he admits that it's due tomorrow, and he's known about it for a couple of weeks. He'd already gotten in trouble for doing something this previously. So she's like, there is a suitcase upstairs that belonged to your ancestor. Go check it out. So, and it's like, and she has a meeting to go to. So, I'll bring this up and see if I can remember the name of the ancestor here. I bring up the book. So, but let's see. So his, and I'm going to mispronounce this name because it's Jewish and Russian. It's basically Yiddish here. So it's Yossi Melosohan. So, I believe Yossi is either Joshua or John in Hebrew. But so he goes up to this trunk, and there's not really much there. But he finds this little Star of David, and he puts it on. And it transports him back into time, into Russia, into his great-grandfather's body. And so his great-grandfather was a young boy, and he was a bit of a trickster. He was a bit of a klutz. And they're living in Russia at the time of the Tsar. And essentially these soldiers are starving and they're harassing the Jewish communities. And specifically these three soldiers will come in and they're stealing the food and they're just wreaking havoc and causing problems and attacking and killing people because they can. This was, I believe, before the programs officially started. But they were harassing these Jewish communities because they could. And these people are, they're trying to harvest their food so they don't starve over the winter. And they're trying to escape. They're thinking about, but they're constantly being watched. So that's the dilemma. They want to escape to Canada, but they're constantly watched by these soldiers who don't want them to leave because they're stealing from them. So at one point in time, I think it's probably a Friday, they've created their little temple, and the soldiers come up and burn their holy books because they can, and they're just being dicks. And they keep talking about it's like this is horrible to them. It's essentially soldiers showing up and burning Bibles, and they don't like them. The soldiers do not like them. They think the Jews are weird. They speak a different language. They speak Yiddish. Mind you, they also speak Russian. But of course, their religion is very different from the Orthodox Christianity, which is what the Russians would have practiced at the time. Because again, I believe they're still under the Tsar. So Nicholas is still alive. And obviously this is during before World War, I believe it's before World War I. Obviously, because the Tsar is still alive. Because it's before World War I. So they're harassing them. And again, they don't want them to leave, and the Jews like, what the heck, you hate us, and yet you won't let us leave. So they're trying to figure out a way to escape to Canada because they've known other people who've escaped, and it's a better land. So this young boy, he's young. His sister's about to get married. But he's messing around with being on stilts and goofing off when he's supposed to be doing other stuff, particularly bringing in fruits and vegetables so they can hide in the cellar so they don't starve and they can keep it away from the soldiers. So they're trying to, basically, they need a distraction. So he decides to figure it out. So he starts hiding and listening to the soldiers. And they start talking about this witch from their mythology that they're terrified of. Basically, their parents had used it as a boogeyman-like thing to scare them when they were young. And they're described this tall thing with spiny legs and basically the stuff of nightmares. So he's like, let me see if I can dress up as this thing and scare the crap out of them. And around the same time, he also realizes they know where the cellar is. And they're just going to go steal the food. So his people are going to starve anyway. So what has he got to lose besides, getting shot? Then he realizes, even a young boy, that he's going to starve to death anyway. So he convinces his sister to help him and warn everybody, because he knows they won't listen to him. It's like, they're coming. Get your stuff, because they've already talked about preparing a bag of basically your valuables. Just one thing, because we're going to be traveling for a long time in order to get to the ocean. So, and has his sister help them gather everybody else up at this other end of the village so they can get out. And he goes and dresses himself up and gets on his stilts and basically goes near the cellar and scares the crap out of them, and they go running. And basically, he's wearing a mop on his head, but again, it's night, so it's dark. He hides in a tree. He's on these stilts. I think he's wearing a giant jacket. And essentially, he scares the crap out of them. Again, they were very superstitious. It's very, very dark. I think there might be a moon. But again, it's like dark. The soldiers are creeped out. They're highly superstitious. And they go running. And so essentially, his people are labeled to, it's like, let's get the heck out of here. And it's like he's a hero. And there's a picture in the box, and all of a sudden, this young boy, Jesse, comes back to himself. After and I think he knows in his mind what happened. He knows the people in the picture, because he found a picture of his great-grandfather and all these people smiling. And basically on the ship, they've just gotten to Canada, and he knows who they are. And he knows how they traveled. They were hidden in other people's homes, gotten out of Russia. I think they had to go through Germany, maybe even France and Italy to eventually get to England, and then get a ship to Canada. So they had and a lot of them, they had nothing left. And Canada was the promised land for them. They were free of being harassed and starving to death. And that was his ancestor. So he keeps the Star of David around his neck, which, if you're familiar with Jewish history, that is very much their symbol. It's the Star of David, and frequently they do wear around his neck. So it's an interesting little tale. It's very much a children's story. Let's see. How long is this? So, yeah. This is really, really short. This is only about 80 pages. So, again, it's very, very, I would say early to mid-elementary, if you're looking for age kind of grade range. So it's elementary school age. Because again, it's very short. It's only 80 pages. I borrowed it from my library. And it's an ebook form. So it's a very interesting little tale. And if you're looking into Jewish history, it's a good way to introduce what was going on during this time period and how they were being harassed and why on earth you had this immigration of Russian Jews into the United States and into Canada, essentially. And then, of course, there was a whole mass different ones. You have the programs. And I think, there's a historical background. So let me skim through this. Let us see. So this was this is the 1800s. So following the assassination of Tsar Alexander II. So, this was right. They pretty much killed everybody. Men, women, children. So yeah, no, this was actually part of the programs. So this is the late 1800s. So, but yeah, according to the book here, I'm looking at this. Before 1880, the Jewish population of Canada was 1,200. By 1882, it had doubled. By 1914, it had reached 120. 120. Okay, I do not read these numbers well. 120,800. So 120,800. So it's a lot of people. It more than doubled in 2 years, and then got more because essentially because they had nothing to lose. They were being murdered. I will probably at least, and I might do that this month. I have not. I'm filming this in April of, in fact, Easter Sunday of April 2022. So I haven't fully gotten June planned out yet. So I just happened to borrow this from the library. I will probably cover American Tail. So if you're not familiar with that, it's a mouse cartoon basically explaining the programs in Russia and the escape to America. So I don't know if I'll cover Fievel Goes West. We'll worry about that later. But I will probably cover American Tail this month. So that is it for this review. Be sure to check the rest of the channel. Again, it's May, so I'll be covering both Asian and Jewish history this month. So I'll be probably coming out with at least 4 videos this month, though I do believe the Guardians of Ga'Hoole is going on this month as well. So that is the book series that is going along. That is Owls. I think that's going on right now. If not, it's coming. Then I'm covering some sort of Torah Pierce. I'll probably be covering Wild Magic possibly right now. All that has been shot already, so I'm not staring at my calendar, so I don't know exactly where it lies. So be sure to check the rest of the channel. I do have a bunch of book series going on in 2023. So April of 2023, I did a bunch of garden stuff. I will have another 2022. I did cover both Asian and Jewish History Month, as well as I did more Asian stuff in January of 2022 as well, just for Chinese New Year. I also cover Black History Month for both 2022 and 2023. So you can check out those videos along with pretty much all of them. I have a wide variety of stuff from this younger children's books to older stuff, various different films, both fun and educational. Again, I'll be doing The American Tail this month at some point. Again, I haven't had May fleshed out yet. We're working on it. But be sure to check out my library. I also have travel stuff. I have a young child. We're secular homeschooling stuff, so we're going to be covering some games and some early homeschooling stuff right now. As my daughter gets older, by the time you see this, she will be nearly 4. So we will be getting more into some of that, but I would definitely be covering some children's board games and educational stuff, as well as much travel stuff as I can as we get there. So by the time you guys see this, we should have at least 4 videos up, and I should, crossing my fingers, be getting some in soon. Because as of right now, I'm going to cross my fingers, we'll be going to California this year, in 2023. I should have 4 videos up on visiting family in Idaho. So you can check those out as well as some other stuff. So be sure to like and subscribe, check out the channel. Educational stuff, lots of book reviews, lots of film reviews, lots of educational stuff. So like and subscribe. Thank you.